Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back for the ABCs of Horror Challenge with my review of Rollerblade. The ABCs of Horror is a challenge in which we make our way from A to Z, watching and reviewing horror movies that begin with each letter of the alphabet. We must go in order, and we cannot skip any letters, but we can do this at our own pace. I've arrived at the letter R, and for me, in the ABCs of Horror, R is for Rollerblade. This is another wild one, guys. Absolutely demented. Rollerblade is a 1986 horror, sci-fi, action, fantasy, over-the-top, nearly nonsensical film. I've always been intrigued by this movie, ever since the first time I laid my eyes on this VHS tape. I saw this cover and knew I had to have it, and then I read the back and realized, yes, this needed to be in my collection. Well, I put off watching it, and then put it off some more, and ultimately saved it for a special occasion. I mentioned in a previous ABCs of Horror video that I tend to do that with some films. Once again, that special occasion is this challenge. I think for this one, I'm going to give you as minimal details as possible. It's best to go into Rollerblade knowing as little as possible. The movie is set in a dystopian future. It's literally the second Dark Age. Everyone rolls around on some sort of wheels. Most people wear roller skates, and not roller blades, by the way. Others use skateboards as their means of transportation. Violent crime is rampant everywhere. Someone can just roll up to someone else and stab them to death. That's exactly what happens in the opening scene. The bad guys and girls are being led by an evil puppet-like being, and the masked maniac who controls him. Their desire is world domination, and everything is going as planned. They steal, abuse, torture, and murder for power. They even kidnap the police marshal's son. There's a pretty disturbing scene of the masked maniac telling the kid who is being held hostage that everyone is going to die, including his father, and including him. And it's a little kid. It's so messed up. This entire movie is messed up. And I still haven't told you the best part. Along with the marshal are a group of crime-fighting nuns. They bring the good to contrast the evil. They also bring the goods, because many of them spend most of their screen time naked. We're talking full frontal nudity of these sisters. One of them is played by Michelle Bauer, so that's not shocking. Their Mother Superior, whose name is Mother Speed, is in a wheelchair. If the irony of her name isn't funny enough, she also wears roller skates, even though she's in a wheelchair. The main goal of this group of nuns is not to fight evil, but to convert evil. They want to persuade the bad to become the good. Basically, like Star Wars, they try to pull them from the dark side to the light side. There is still plenty more to explain, if I wanted to, but I don't, because, like I said, it's best knowing as little as possible. Rollerblade is super 80s. Based on the background of most scenes, you might think you were watching an old music video. The atmosphere of the film reminded me a lot of Dr. Caligari or Cafe Flesh, which is funny since Michelle Bauer starred in that as well. Lucky for us, she's completely naked in both. There are gruesome effects in Rollerblade, like bodies being dissolved in acid, and the whole thing just has a dreamlike feel. It's a surreal nightmare landscape. I really like the look of the evil puppet. I have to say, he sort of reminds me of a boglin, and I like the look of the masked maniac. There are others as well, like these guys on the cover. I mean, how cool are they? It should go without saying, I love the look of the nude nuns as well. Bear in mind, they're not typical nuns, like we know in the real world. They're a much different sort of congregation, and they worship what seems to be a smiley face god. All of them also carry around a blade, each of which has the special power to heal. That's where the blade part of the title comes in. At one point, one of the girls has her throat completely slashed, and it's brutal. But one of the magic blades heals her. There's also this special hot tub, which I guess is sort of like a fountain of youth. The girls get completely naked and submerge themselves in its healing water. Like I said, there is a lot of nudity in Rollerblade. It's so gratuitous, too. I will now, from this point on, forever associate the term gratuitous nudity with this movie. Most, if not all, of the voices seem to be overdubbed, and every time the kid talked, I laughed out loud. Truthfully, it just added to the entertainment value of this cheese fest. And Rollerblade isn't just a cheese fest, it's a sleaze fest to the highest degree. Overall, this was highly entertaining. It's so much fun. Rollerblade is a roller blast. I guess I rolled my R for the ABCs of horror, because R is for Rollerblade. As always, please be sure to check out everyone else participating in the challenge. And if you'd like to join in, please do. Everyone is invited. Just start with A, make sure you go in order, and don't skip any letters. Have you seen Rollerblade? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Which horror movie beginning with the letter S will I watch and review for the ABCs of horror? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.